Hi, in this video we will talk about persistent volumes, persistent volume claims, and also we will see how these persistent volume claims can be used in pods. So let's say imagine your app needs to save data like user uploads or database files, but in Kubernetes, pods can come and go. When they go, their storage also disappear, right? And that's where we use these persistent volumes for persistent data storage. So think of a persistent volume like an external drive that you plug into your pods. So even if the pod is deleted, the data stays safe. It's managed separately, so your app can go like stop and start a number of times without losing the data or files in it. In short, pods are temporary, but the persistent volumes are exist beyond life of a container or a pod. So let's go ahead and take a look at the demo now. I'm in my code editor. I've created these three YAML definitions for persistent volumes, persistent volume claims, and persistent volume claim pod. So this pod generally uses this persistent volume claim. So let me walk you through these YAML definitions first. Then later we can go ahead and create these resources. So the kind that we want to create is persistent volume, name of the persistent volume, capacity. So 2 gigabytes of persistent volume that we want to create on the host machine where Kubernetes is running on, and the access methods are read write once. Similar to this, we also have other types of access methods like you can see in this Kubernetes documentation. Read write once means single node can read or write once at a time. Read only many, write only many, and read write many, read write once pod. So this is specific to the nodes and this is specific to the pod. So based on our requirement, we can assign the permissions. So for now, I'm using the access modes as read write once, host path on which I want to create this storage, that is this location, reclaim policy, which is retain. So similar to that, we have other two types of reclaim policies like delete and recycle. So based on our requirement, we can use these reclaim policies. And since we create this persistent volume, so we have to create persistent volume claim to use certain amount of storage from this persistent volume for the pods. So I'm creating a claim here. So persistent volume claim and the name of the claim, again access modes for this claim. So resources request, so we want to request 1 gigabyte of storage from this persistent volume. So that is how we can create this persistent volume claim. And after that we can create a pod that uses this persistent volume claim. So let me go ahead and walk you through this YAML definition. So kind pod, the pod name again same as the previous sessions like container, the busybox image, the command that we want to run, and here is the actual stuff. So the volume, as you can see, the volume name is this one, host path PVC. Persistent volume claim name is PVC. So claim name host path PVC, meaning so this claim can be used in this part, and this claim got created from this persistent volume. So generally, technically, the volume will be used from this persistent volume in this pod, and the mount location, mount path slash data in this busybox container. Name of the volume mount is host path volume. As you can see, the volume name that we provided as host path hyphen volume, same name we are providing, so that it will be mounted to this location. So let me go to my terminal and create this persistent volume first and then claim and then pod. I'll go to my terminal. Let me do ls. Yeah, I've got these three files. So let me create persistent volume plus first kubectl apply hyphen f persistent volume. It is created kubectl get pv persistent volume name 2 gigabyte of storage, access modes read write once, retain, status is available, and let's create persistent volume claims pvc. Okay, my persistent volume claim is also created. kubectl get persistent volume claim. As you can see, status is bound now. Capacity 1 gigabyte, access modes, and the storage class standard. So if you see get PV 2 gigabytes, and out of which we are using 1 gigabyte, status is bound from this, and claim default. This is our claim name. Now let's go ahead and create the pod. I'll go ahead and apply the YAML definition. Kubectl apply hyphen f, this one. Okay, pod should be created. Kubectl get pods or pod name. Okay, one is running. Busybox container is running. Now if I go ahead and kubectl describe pod, our pod name. Let me come here and show you. As you can see, name of the pod namespace. Let's come down. Mount path. As you can see, slash data. Slash data. In this path, we have mounted this volume host path volume. As you can see, read write access. And apart from that, we also should have persistent volumes. So persistent volume claims the claim name read only false. This is the volume that we assign to this pod. Now let's say for example kubectl get pods. We have got this pod name and kubectl exec. I'll run one command in the container. My pod hyphen c container name. Let me go ahead and get the container name. This is my container name hyphen hyphen. I'll create a file in this location. Touch slash data. This is our actual path where persistent volume claim is mounted, and I'll create test.txt. Okay, file should be created now. What I'll do is slash data only. Instead of touch, I'll do ls. Okay, if I hit enter, test.txt got created inside our container. So that is how, we can leverage this persistent volume claims to store our data. So in this file you can store any data, or in the slash data location you can save any number of files or store any data. Even in some situations, like your pod is deleted but still the data still exists, so meaning like the persistent volumes exist beyond the life of a containers or the pods. So that is how persistent volumes can be used. And the persistent volumes can be different types, like our AWS EBS volumes or Azure volumes or GCP or external drives or CSI, all this stuff supported by Kubernetes. Let me go to this Kubernetes volumes documentations. I'll open this persistent volumes directly. So if I come here, I just wanted to show you various types of volumes, type of persistent volume, CSI, FC, host path. This is what we have used. Local NFS, the network file system is also supported, elastic block storage, AWS, flex volume, and lot of other type of volumes are supported. So based on our requirement, we can use any type of volume that we want. So that is how these persistent volumes can be used. And similar to that, we also have ephemeral volumes, which is nothing but the volume does not exist beyond the life of a container, means the temporary volumes. As soon as the pod or the container is deleted, the volume gets deleted. So Kubernetes ephemeral storage, if I come here, you should see mtdir or config maps or secrets. So these are all the ephemeral storages, means once the pod is deleted, data inside the container will be deleted, obviously. So these volumes gets created inside the container, but the persistent volumes gets created outside the containers. So even if the container is deleted, the volume still exists. That's all for this session. Thanks for watching.